the floodlights pierce through the December mist at Oakland Coliseum, casting long shadows across the frost-kissed field. It's Monday Night Football, but tonight isn't just another primetime showdown. The air crackles with an energy that even the millions watching at home can feel through their screens. Brett Favre emerges from the tunnel, his breath visible in the cold night air. To the casual observer, he's the same gunslinger who's led the Packers for years. But those who know understand that he's carrying an invisible burden that would break most men. Just hours ago, he buried his father, Irvin Favre, his first coach, his harshest critic, his greatest champion. The decision to play tonight wasn't just about football. It wasn't even about grief. It was about legacy. Not the kind that shows up in record books, but the kind that defines a man's character. Across the field, the Oakland Raiders defense lies in wait, notorious for showing no mercy, especially on their home turf. The stadium lights seem to burn brighter, as if the football gods themselves want to ensure every eye in America witnesses what's about to unfold. The whispers had already started. How could he play? Why would he play? For Favre, the answer was simple yet profound, because that's what his father taught him. Every snap, every throw tonight will be a tightrope walk between heartbreak and heroism. One stumble, one moment of letting the grief overtake him, and this night could become a cautionary tale of hubris. But if he succeeds, if he somehow channels this raw emotion into something transcendent, this could become the night that transforms a great quarterback into a legend. The crowd holds its breath as Favre steps under center. In this moment, between the snap and destiny, 30 years of father-son bonds, thousands of backyard passes, and countless life lessons converge. Tonight, Brett Favre isn't just playing for a win, he's playing for immortality. By 2003, Brett Favre had already etched his name into NFL folklore. A 3-time MVP with a cannon for an arm, he embodied the spirit of old-school football, fearless, gritty, and utterly devoted to the game. But even legends face their crucibles, and that season, Favre was walking a tightrope. His Green Bay Packers were clawing for playoff survival, each game a battle against elimination, each snap carrying the weight of championship dreams. The whispers had started. Critics circled like ravens, questioning if time had finally caught up with the gunslinger from Mississippi. His trademark aggressive style, once celebrated, now drew scrutiny. Every interception fueled debates about whether Favre's risk-taking had become a liability. The very qualities that made him extraordinary were being painted as flaws. Then came the phone call that shattered his world. Irvin Favre, Brett's father, had passed away unexpectedly. This wasn't just the loss of a parent. It was the loss of the man who had molded Brett's entire football identity. Every spiral thrown, every audible called, every comeback mounted bore the imprint of Irvin's teachings. In their small Mississippi town, Irvin hadn't just coached Brett. He had instilled in him an unshakable philosophy. Football wasn't just a game, it was a test of character. With less than 24 hours until the Raiders game, Favre faced a decision that would define his legacy. The conventional wisdom was clear. Take time to grieve, step away from the game, no one would question it. But something deeper pulled at him, a voice that sounded remarkably like his father's. Irvin had taught him that true character reveals itself not in moments of comfort, but in times of deepest pain. The stage was set for what would become known as the Monday Night Miracle. As Favre prepared to take the field in Oakland, the football world held its collective breath. Could a man carrying such profound grief somehow transform his pain into performance? Could he honor his father's memory while leading his team in one of their most crucial games? From the opening drive, it was clear this wasn't just Brett Favre playing football. This was artistry born from anguish. In a first half that seemed touched by divine intervention, Favre orchestrated an aerial assault that left the football world speechless. 311 yards and 4 touchdowns, numbers that felt plucked from a video game rather than a grief-stricken quarterback's stat line. Each spiral that left his hand carried a story. Deep bombs to Javon Walker cut through the Oakland night like comets. Precision strikes to Wesley Walls threaded needles that shouldn't have existed. The Raiders' vaunted defense, a unit that had terrorized quarterbacks all season, found themselves reduced to spectators in Favre's masterpiece. But statistics alone couldn't capture the essence of this performance. There was something almost supernatural in Favre's demeanor, a serene confidence that seemed to say, "Dad, watch this." His teammates didn't just follow his lead, they elevated their game to match his inspiration. The offensive line formed an impenetrable fortress. Receivers made acrobatic catches as if guided by an unseen hand. Every time Oakland adjusted their coverage, Favre had already solved the puzzle 2 moves ahead. He didn't just read the defense, he seemed to read destiny itself. Whether rolling out of the pocket or standing tall against the rush, each decision came with crystalline clarity. This wasn't just football anymore. This was a son writing his father's eulogy in touchdown passes, a grief-stricken warrior turning personal tragedy into public triumph. In the annals of NFL history, many games are remembered for their significance. But this Monday night in Oakland, Brett Favre didn't just play football. He showed the world how the human spirit can soar even in its darkest hour. The defining moment of the Monday Night Miracle crystallized in a single play that seemed to bend reality itself. A 43-yard touchdown strike to Javon Walker that pierced through the Raiders' defense like a bolt of lightning. The ball spiraled through impossible angles, threading between defenders before settling perfectly into Walker's hands. Even the Raiders' sideline stood in silent awe. This wasn't just football anymore. This was art painted in spiral patterns across the Oakland sky. That throw, like the entire game itself, transcended the boundaries of sport. It became a symbol of something far greater, a son's tribute written in perfect spirals and touchdown drives. The impact rippled through the NFL like a shockwave. Green Bay's playoff hopes, once flickering, now burned bright with renewed purpose. Favre's teammates spoke of that night with reverence, describing how his courage transformed their own understanding of what it meant to persevere. The sports world erupted in response. Media outlets scrambled to capture the magnitude of what they'd witnessed. Forums and call-in shows overflowed with fans sharing their own stories of loss and triumph, finding connection in Favre's display of raw humanity. The NFL, recognizing the transcendent nature of the performance, enshrined it among the greatest Monday Night Football moments ever witnessed. Favre's legacy, already substantial, took on new dimensions. This wasn't just about career statistics or championship rings anymore. It was about the heart of what makes sports matter. His performance became a testament to human resilience, a story passed down in locker rooms and living rooms alike. Young quarterbacks would study the footage, not just for his technique, but for those intangible qualities that separated the legendary from the merely great. Years later, when people speak of Brett Favre, they don't just recall the records, the MVPs, or even the Super Bowl victory. They remember this night in Oakland, when a grieving son took the field and showed the world that sometimes the greatest achievements in sports aren't measured in yards or touchdowns, but in the depth of human courage. The Monday Night Miracle stands as testament that in our darkest moments, we are capable of creating something truly luminous. In the end, this game was more than just a win for Green Bay. It was a reminder of sports' unique power to unite, inspire, and showcase the very best of human spirit. Through his performance, Favre didn't just honor his father's memory. He created a legacy that would inspire generations to come. When the final whistle blew, the emotion etched across Brett Favre's face told a story deeper than any statistic could capture. Standing on the Oakland Coliseum turf, helmet in hand, tears mixing with sweat, he looked skyward in a moment of raw vulnerability. This wasn't just a quarterback who dominated a game. This was a son who'd honored his father in the most profound way possible. In the post-game interviews, his voice cracking with emotion, Favre spoke of Irvin's influence, not just in football, but in life. As teammates embraced him, and even Raiders fans rose to their feet in appreciation, the true meaning of this night crystallized. This wasn't about playoff implications or personal statistics. This was about the unbreakable bond between father and son, played out on professional football's biggest stage. The Monday Night Miracle transcended sport itself, becoming a testament to human resilience. In years to come, when people speak of Brett Favre, they don't just remember the cannon arm or the MVP awards. They remember this night when grief and glory intertwined to create something truly immortal. He didn't just play football that night. He showed us all what it means to turn pain into power. Join us next time for more unforgettable stories from the world of sports.